hit the spin. Diva Show, about to begin. Mine's got a sharp like a headline cut. Heels too high, but I still strut. Got a joke for your ego, seat for your pride. If you came thin skinned, better step aside. You want the truth or the sweet little lie? I only got time for the shock in your eyes. The Diva Show is about to begin. Get ready for the laughs and the chaos I'm in. I'ma tell you a story, then I'm spilling the tea. If you feel a little caught out, baby, that's on you, not me. I said what I said, and I said what I meant. If your jaw hit the floor, then it's time well spent. I said what I said, let it live in your head. 'Cause I said what I said, what I said, what I said. Pull receipts on my little clutch. Names and dates, so I brought a bunch. You can clutch your pearls, you can fake that shock, but your group chat knows I don't miss that clock. You came for calm, but you stayed for the mess. Every punchline lands like the truth in a dress. Ah, the Diva Show is about to begin. Get ready for the laughs and the chaos I'm in. I'ma tell you a story, then I'm spilling the tea. If you feel a little caught out, baby, that's on you, not me. I said what I said, and I said what I meant. If your jaw hit the floor, then that's time well spent. I said what I said, let it live in your head. 'Cause I said what I said, what I said, what I said. This ain't a rumor, this is the news. If the shoe fits, baby, that's your shoe. Don't beg for mercy, you beg for a seat. Now you front row to the roast and the heat. Ooh, the Diva Show is about to begin. Get ready for the laughs and the chaos I'm in. I'ma tell you a story, then I'm spilling the tea. If you feel a little caught out, baby, that's on you, not me. I said what I said, and I said what I meant. If your jaw hit the floor, then that's time well spent. I said what I said, let it live in your head. I said what I said.
Is a cold weekend for me because I am in Texas, so that is no surprise. But yeah, so in the theme of it being as cold as hell here, I'm in this because I'm cold as shit. So I don't know what to tell you. And for everyone that's like, oh, you Texas people are weak, bitch, it's like less than 20 degrees, so you need to leave me alone. You need to leave me alone. Like it snowed. I have snow outside my house. My stray cats are going through the gigs. My damn dogs are looking outside. Like, what is those things? I don't know how to explain this to them. What the fuck this is, but hopefully it goes away. There are rumors that like it's supposed to really go down on Monday, but it was supposed to really go down today. So like, but I'm feeling it though. I'm feeling it though. So that's all that cares to me. But I'm glad I still have internet going. So, which is why we're still here. So if you are cold like me, you can just sit here and chill literally with me and hit the like button while you're at it. Also, before we get into this show, for me, again, for me, myself, and I would like to thank everybody that gave my last stream a chance. I would really like to thank everybody who gave my stream a chance last week. Like I said, my main goal is to talk about things that I find entertaining, that I could get, like we could get some laughs on and move the fuck on. Like that's kind of like my thing. I'm not going to talk about something that I don't find entertaining that I don't think y'all will find entertaining. And last week, like I said, oh my God, there was like, I don't know if they're going to come back. Like that might have been a one-time hello, how are you? But I'm grateful for everyone that gave my silly little show a chance last week. Thank you so much, especially like the love I'm getting across platforms of my shorts. I appreciate that. Also, more to come. But now that we're done with the whole thank you, I'm coldness, we're done with that part of the segment. We're done with that. So now we're going to move on to some of y'all going to get mad at me again because there was like some people mad at me on my last stream, which that's fine. So you're just going to get mad at me. Same people are going to get mad at me again if they don't have me on block. So, so today we're going to do another sports show because yet again, something came across my desk. And here's my thing. Once you stop being entertaining, I will stop talking about you. It's very simple. Don't be entertaining. Don't be funny. Don't say something stupid. Don't do these things and I won't talk about you. I won't make fun of you. I won't laugh at you. But if you continue to say and do dumb shit, I will. It's very simple. It's a very simple transaction. So what are we talking about? And I got my notes too because it's a sports show. I got my notes. We're going to be talking about the Bills today. Yes, the Bills, because they decided to wake up after that game with Josh Allen crying. There's a point to me bringing up that Josh Allen cried. There's a point. Don't worry. We will get to it. So it's not me being like messy, even though it is messy, but there's a point to it. There's a point to it. Okay. So the Bills decided to fire their longtime coach, Sean McDermott. They decided to do it. And we're going to talk about why I think that's not the smartest idea. And then we're going to talk about the disaster. I'm going to say the word, the disastrous press conference that nobody fucking asked for. By the owner, Terry Pegula. I think that's how you say his name. Like, dude, apparently, I didn't do that much research, but apparently we didn't hear from this man for years. And I think we should go back to doing that. That's just like a friendly advice. So we're going to go and watch that shit show and I got the timestamps too, bitch. So we're just going to get through this little article real quick, and then we're going to go into that video. Okay. So like, if you don't have a snack, get one. If you're sensitive, I don't know what to tell you. If you're a Bills fan, I will give you a few seconds to leave because, girl, like, you're about to get red. Y'all about to get red. But y'all been reading yourselves too, because there's apparently like a whole petition going on saying like, hey, you're a dumbass. You shouldn't fire our head coach because Josh Allen cried. Oops. I did a little bit of a spoiler. My bad. But yeah, I see all the love in the chat. How are y'all doing? But like, I just had to get all that out, you guys. I had to get all that stuff out. I have to get the opening out before I say hello to everybody. I have to, but I see y'all and thank you for interacting with the chat and thank you for the likes. I do appreciate it. Also, when the show's over, you guys have to check the theme song that I made. It is a time. Anyway, so this happened the Monday that just happened. So this happened Monday on the 19th. Bills fire coach Sean McDermott after 9 seasons, no Super Bowl. Now, ooh, that is the sound of ice outside my window, and that does not sound good. Ooh, that don't sound good out there. Ooh, my old bones. So let me get into Sean McDermott. Okay, so they announced that he got fired on the 19th. He was with the Bills for 9 seasons. So he is 51 years old. He left the Bills with a 98-50 record, okay, which is really fucking impressive. And an 8-8 mark in the postseason, including 2 AFC championship losses to Kansas City Chiefs. He won 5 consecutive AFC East titles from 2020 to 2024, finishing second at 12-5 behind the New England Patriots this season. So he wasn't the worst. So we're not going to act like he was the worst. He was not the worst. And if you did watch the game, Josh Allen was not having the best time out there. And there was also a very controversial call over if something was actually a catch or if something was a turnover. So, which that's brought up also in this, in the press conference that we're going to listen to. So here's another character in here. Brandon Beane, who started the same time as McDermott. McDermott brought him in, apparently, was given an additional role as president of a football organization and will lead the team's search for a new head coach. So Brandon Beane, who was brought in as the GM, so he's going to be GM and the president of the Bills. So Sean, Coach McDermott, he got fired. But the guy that he brought in got promoted. Now, why? I didn't. Okay. Now, before we're going to keep going. Now, the players have responded. Defensive tackles Jordan Phillips and Daquan Jones showed their frustration at McDermott's firing in an Instagram story post. This shit here is so stupid, honestly sickening, Phillips posted. The best coach I've ever been around. Posted Jones, don't make sense, but y'all got what y'all wanted. Don't know what the... So that's it. So the temperature is pretty hot. People were pretty confused about this. And then now they're saying that Phillips River is interviewing for the Bills head coach job. So he's interviewing. Now, at this point in time, and then I'll post this little petty, I forgot to post this petty screenshot. I forgot to post this petty screenshot. I am so sorry. Because if I'm going to have a sports day, I got to be petty. Now, this was the last thing that was posted on this afternoon, my time. So if this has updated, okay, my bird. But to my knowledge, it has not updated. So we just, for the pettiness of the program, we're just going to act like this hasn't been updated. So as you can see, there's a lot of turnover. There's a lot of, coach switching, a lot of coach vacancy at the end of this season. Now, I'm not saying I followed every single season of football, but damn, bitch, there is a lot of moving pieces going on. So far, they have Mike McCarthy, who was formerly with the Cowboys. He's going to be with the Steelers. Ooh, something's in the throat. The Ravens, Jesse Minter. The Giants, John Harbaugh. The Falcons, Kevin, not pronouncing that. The Dolphins, Jeff Hafley. And Robert Saleh, who was formerly with the Jets, is going to be with the Titans. Who will fill these last four? It's kind of like the rejection wall. Like, who got fired during this season or the last season? Like, who's going to get the job? Who's going to get the job? But yeah, so this is the current standing. So this next season is going to be a very interesting time. But now, I got to be honest. I liked Robert Saleh. I did. I liked him. So, for me, I thought he did a good job. That's just me. I thought he did. I'm not saying like he was like the perfect job with the Jets, but like I don't think like he was like goddamn awful. Like obviously there was like issues, but seeing him getting another opportunity to be a head coach again, like I was really happy about that. Now let's go to the main show. This goddamn press conference. So right here, this is Terry Pegula. Okay. And he's been the owner of the Bills since 2014. So okay. So Sean McDermott. So let's bring it all the way back. So he's been with the Bills since 2014. Okay. So he's going like 12 years. Out of that 12, Sean was in it, and he did a pretty good damn job. And under Sean's reign, did I lose? Does the stream shut down because like everybody left at once? And I'm not that bad. I'm making sure I still have a stream going. No, it says that y'all are here, so my OBS is tripping. I am so sorry. My OBS is tripping. Anyways, oh, look at all the likes. Okay, I was just making sure that my stream wasn't down. Anyways, my bad. My bad. My bad. My Stream Element's a hater. Press 1 in the chat if Stream Element is a hater. Stream Element is a goddamn hater. A goddamn hater. What was I saying? I was doing good too. Like, what the fuck? Hating ass Stream Elements. Hating ass Stream Elements. Motherfucker. Anyways, so to me, it's like you've been here since 2014. Out of the 12, yeah, because it's 12 years. Out of the 12 years, the 9 you had Sean McDermott, and you guys weren't doing that bad, and you still got him the fuck out of here. So we are going to. So I need y'all. How about this one? I'm gonna let it play. I got my timestamps. I'm gonna make my jokes. I'm gonna make my commentary. But at any time, if you're saying, Diva, you're bugging, you leave this old man alone. You're bullying him. You're being mean. He didn't say something that stupid. You just see him and you get triggered because he looks like Jerry Jones. That's what this is about, Diva. You're triggered by his appearance. You're triggered because he's giving Jerry Jones. You are a bystander product of being a Cowboys fan. This is all this is, Diva. This is all this is. Now, if that is it, please let me know. I will take the criticism. There probably is some post-traumatic issues I have being a Cowboys fan and dealing with Jerry Jones all my life. That is a probability. Someone is calling me, and I'm going to have to deal with that later. Thank God my phone is on silent. Let's go!
For all the work he's done in Buffalo.
We got to rewind this all back because I need you to hear every... Ooh, miss you and glad to see you back. Thank you for the tip. Thank you so much for the tip, Gaming Otter. That is so sweet of you. I've never seen that animation before. That is so rude of me. Anyway.
The last 9 years.
Hold on,
First, I want to thank Sean McDermott for all the work he's done in Buffalo over the last 9 years. We're going
to have to speed it up with him because I felt like the last one we were watching, like people were talking in like an okay pace, but like he's kind of taking his time.
Remember the playoff drought before Sean got here. Sean has definitely left the Buffalo Bills in a better place than when he arrived in 2017. He gave his heart and soul to trying to win a championship.
Do I have to speed you up even more, motherfucker?
Yep. I gave Sean his first head coaching job, and I'm proud of that. I don't think he's done coaching in this league, and I wish him the best. I also want to thank him and his wife, Jamie, for the kind words and thoughts that they gave to me.
There's a reason why we're playing all this out. There's a reason why, because we can't just immediately like jump into it. It's kind of like with the previous stream. We just don't immediately jump into it. We're gonna watch how this dysfunction is made. We're gonna watch how it's made. So like he's gonna say, "Oh my God, he left us in a better place. He was a good guy." Just keep going. He's just gonna bring up the grocery list of why Sean isn't a complete douchebag, which I don't think he was, to be honest. It would be really stupid to insinuate that. But like he's just like putting in like the extra. He's a good guy.
When Kim had her sudden cardiac arrest, and it was really encouraging for all the kind thoughts that they gave our family while we were going through that ordeal. My decision to bring in a new coach was based on the results of our game in Denver. I want to take you in the locker room after that game. I looked around. First thing I noticed was our quarterback with his head down, crying.
Okay, hold on. I got to make sure that y'all.
Locker room after that game. To bring in a new coach was based on the results.
Listen to this. So what he is saying is he was completely fine with everything. He was fine with the coaching. He was fine with everything, but it was the loss to the Broncos. It was the Broncos game. Just wait.
Of our game in Denver. I want to take you in the locker room after that game.
He's going to take us to the locker room. So just listen. I might slow this down because I really want y'all to hear this shit.
I looked around. First thing I noticed was our quarterback with his head down, crying. I looked at all the other players. I looked at their faces and our coaches. I walked over to Josh. He didn't even acknowledge I was there.
I went into the locker room and I noticed everybody was fucking crying. And the quarterback, his head was fucking down. He was just crying like, he was just inconsolable. Just crying like a little bitch when I walked in there. Like, it was astonishing. When I tell you, when I walked into that goddamn locker room and I just saw everybody crying, like, it was a sight, ladies and gentlemen. It was a goddamn sight. Let's continue on his story. I don't want to spoil anything because this is...
First thing I said to him, I said, that was a catch. We all know what I'm talking about.
I'm talking about the controversial, it was a catch. He's saying it was a catch when the ruling, it wasn't a catch. So he's saying that was like the words that he said to Josh Allen while he's fucking crying in the locker room. Don't worry, son. That was a catch. Fuck the refs.
He didn't acknowledge me. He just sat there sobbing. He was listless. He had given everything he had to try to win that game. And looking around, so did all the other players on the team. I saw the pain in Josh's face at his presser, and I felt his pain. I know we can do better, and I know we will get better. I want to express my confidence in the guy sitting next to me, Brandon Beane, and the job he has done in resurrecting this.
Yes. What caused him to fire the head coach was because Josh Allen was crying. Because he went into the locker room and saw everybody crying. This is, like, as you can emphasize here, he was really upset. That he walked into a locker room with everyone fucking crying. And he couldn't let it stand.
Franchise. I'm not going to sit here and defend everything that we have done as a franchise. But the bottom line is we have attracted good people here. Brandon has brought in Joe Shane, who's now the GM in New York, Dan Morgan, the GM in Carolina, Dennis Hickey, former GM in Miami, and our own Brian Gain, who's still here with us, former GM in Houston. There have been some very talented people that Brandon is associated with that he's brought through the front door here at One Bills Drive. I'm aware there's criticism out there about our franchise. Does anyone know what the numbers 523, 22?
This is him continuing to defend his choice to get rid of the head coach because Josh Allen cried. I'm not kidding. I am not he's about to defend it even further.
2-6 represent? I'm asking a question. No? That's our seeding over the last 7 years in the playoffs. 5, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 6. An organization doesn't carry that kind of record without being a great organization and without having great players.
Correct. And you fired the guy that got you those seeds.
It's impossible to have that kind of results without having a good roster. I hear it from my counterparts at league meetings. A lot of them talk about the Bills organization and the success we've had through the years. Our roster is a direct reflection of the hard work that Brandon and our scouting staff has done through the years. One may complain over a deal, over a player, over a result. But the bottom line is success over a long period of time means we're doing something right.
And you got rid of them. You got rid of them. It gets
We
better.
are focused on bringing a Super Bowl to Buffalo. We have an MVP quarterback in Josh Allen. I'm looking forward to having a successful coaching search. I know this is a desirable job. Our phones are ringing, and we're going to begin that process. So I'm going to turn it over to Brandon.
Thanks, Terry. I want to first off echo how Terry.
Like, imagine you start with your press conference. What led me to this decision was I go into the locker room and Josh Allen's crying. Everyone's fucking crying. And I have to do something. I'm going to keep on letting it play. I'm going to keep on letting it play.
Terry started this, thanking Sean and his family. Even before arriving here in Buffalo in 2017, Sean and I started our journey together, him as the D coordinator, me working my way up to assistant GM in Carolina. So that connection and that relationship, I know, factored into us building 9 seasons here, and a lot of accomplishments.
So this is the guy that came in with the coach that got fired, that got promoted, which is going to be brought up quite a bit.
Together, things that we always worked on, things to get better, but we always did it together. And I'll always appreciate the years. And, you know, you think about the things that you could have done better, but I'll also try to remember all the great times that we've had. And obviously this is the start of a new chapter, but Sean's a heck of a football coach, and we'll always root for him and his family. I want to thank our players, our coaches, our support staff. You know, I wish we were, as I've said a lot, I wish we were preparing for an AFC Championship game instead of up here right now. We know how close we were again. We just didn't get it done in Denver. But it wasn't for the lack of effort. And I told the team on Sunday that I'll remember this group as a resilient bunch. And I said resiliency is the one word the 2025 Bills will.
No one died. Like, I want to know what happened in this locker room. Like, I want to know, like, how bad they were fucking crying and how bad it was. Because they're using words like, y'all are resilient. Y'all are strong. Y'all will get past this. What the fuck happened in there? I got to know. Like, what were they doing?
Kind of always as I look back on my tenure here. So I want to thank them all. We have a lot of work to do this offseason, like we do every year. We'll have decisions, and I know you guys will have roster questions or particular player questions. We'll answer those the best we can, you know, about the salary cap and things like that. And listen, I understand the frustrations out there. No one puts more pressure on me than myself. You know, the term pressure is a privilege is spot on. And this job is a privilege. Working in this organization is a privilege, and I don't take it lightly. We have, as Terry alluded to, an MVP quarterback who just completed his 8th season here. And we have got to help.
And y'all gave him a raise. That's the thing that's killing me. Y'all gave him a raise. Like, y'all, like, it's just so weird to me. It's so weird to me. You get rid of the coach that helped build this organization to be where it is. So instead of it just being like, hey, this was a group effort of a failure. This was a group effort of a failure. Y'all just get rid of the fucking coach, because at this point, and it was hilarious. We just got to keep playing. We got to keep playing this. We got to keep playing this.
Him get to the Super Bowl and bring a championship to Buffalo. And part of the reason we're here stinks because we have to discuss, you know, what happened this week, moving on from a head coach. I bear guilt, blame, responsibility. There's no finger pointing. I understand there's things I could have done better. And we're always looking to get better. And that'll never change. If we don't win the Super Bowl next season and I'm up here explaining where we are and what we have to do, there will be more things that we will work to get better. The goal here.
If you come back, because I'll be surprised if you come back if y'all fail again. Because, like, to my understanding, they got rid of the coach because y'all lost. And you think your ass is going to be here talking next year if they got rid of your number, like, whatever? Because y'all were a duo. You got rid of one of the duo. And now you're saying, like, oh, I'll be back here next year if we lose again. Sure you will, Jan. Sure you will.
Is to bring a championship to Buffalo. We've been close, as Terry said, 7 straight years in the postseason. I think he listed all the seeds. We have to get it over the top, and that starts with finding the right head coach. And we're starting that process as soon as today with interviews. So with that said, I'll turn over to questions for Terry or myself.
Hey, Terry, you mentioned that
I want y'all to make sure that this is heard. Because I've been cutting ahead, because this was crazy.
you thought it was a catch and you told Josh it was a catch.
Here it is. Here it is. I want y'all to make sure that y'all. I slowed this down.
With interviews. So with that said, I'll turn over to questions for Terry or myself.
Hey, Terry, you mentioned that you thought it was a catch and you told Josh it was a catch. Why would you fire a coach based on a bad officiating decision?
Ooh. Look how mad he looks. You even told Josh Allen it was a catch. So why are you going to fire the head coach over a bad call? Because y'all would probably be continuously going through. Y'all would probably be doing the next game if it wasn't for that bad call. So you even went to Josh Allen and said, hey, that was a catch, referring to that was a bad call. And you fired the coach and the resulting of y'all losing the game. So what's the tea, sis? And he did not like that question, boo-boo. He did not like that question, boo-boo.
I did not fire a coach based on a bad officiating decision. If I can take you,
I want y'all to listen to this. I did not fire a coach because of a bad decision. He's going to tell y'all. He's going to tell y'all why. And this is what I have been gagging over and been having a time over. Because listen to what this man says.
take you into that locker room, I felt like we hit the proverbial playoff wall year after year. 13 seconds, missed field goals, the catch. So I just sensed in that locker room, like, where do we go from here with what we have? And that was the basis for my decision.
Brandon, there's a report out there.
Remember what he said, what happened in that locker room. Remember what he said. He said he went in that locker room and everybody was bawling their goddamn eyes out. And he is saying, you weren't in that. Buddy, you weren't in that goddamn locker room. You weren't there. You weren't fucking there. You didn't see what the fuck I saw. And I had to do something, goddammit. I had to do something, goddammit. And he's going to keep on reiterating this. He's going to keep on reiterating that he fired the coach because people were crying in the locker room. It had nothing to do with anything else. It had nothing to. He went in that locker room. He saw what the fuck happened. And he was like, no. No one makes my baby cry. No one puts baby in the corner. Absolutely the fuck not. Not on my watch. Not on my goddamn watch. I am going to white knight. You know what? I hope everybody finds somebody that loves and protects them like this man does for Josh Allen. I hope that for everyone.
There's a report out there that there was a meeting 5 weeks ago, and Sean expressed dissatisfaction with the roster. The report is that that was part of what has led to this today. You're not being happy with his assessment. Either one of you gentlemen could answer that if that was true.
I don't know where that came from, but we bet all the time. You know, I talk to Sean every day. We talk about being dissatisfied with this, being happy with that, and whatnot. But we communicate it all the time, and I don't know where that came from.
He didn't like that either. Hey, the roster fucking sucks. We should change something. Don't you tell me what to do, you asshole.
Given the fact that Brandon was promoted, and congrats on that,
Congrats, Brandon.
and Sean was fired, both played a role in the success and failure of this franchise. What came down to one over the other, or was it that easy?
Like I just said, I believe it was, where does the leadership of the team on the field and in the locker room, where we go from that moment, which, another playoff failure. And that's why I decided that Sean had to leave.
Terry, how far before the playoff game had you?
Nothing else happened. You're saying you win that locker. This is what I'm saying. This is what's so crazy to me. And it's the fact that he's saying this out loud and he thinks this is supposed to like satisfy everyone. Like everyone's supposed to be cool with this shit. Everybody's supposed to be cool with this shit. You were fine with everything until you went into that locker room and you saw everybody crying and boo-hooing. And you're all like, oh, where do we go from here? And you get rid of the fucking coach. Even though your own goddamn reporters are sitting here saying that you're a fucking idiot. Because if you're going to get mad at Sean for the decisions that are made, then you should be mad at Brandon too. Also, Sean brought up that there was an issue with the roster 5 weeks prior. And apparently you didn't like hearing that. So the person allegedly with this rumor, is saying that Sean told you, hey, we need a clean house. This isn't going to work. And he's gone.
You maybe started thinking about this being a possibility?
After the playoff game in the locker room.
Let me rewind this because y'all think I'm being petty about this goddamn locker room. I'm not being petty about this locker room. You think I'm being petty about this locker room, and I'm not. I'll rewind it again about this locker room.
We go from that moment, which, another playoff failure, and that's why I decided that Sean had to leave.
How far before the playoff game had you maybe started thinking about this being a possibility?
After the playoff game.
Yeah. He's making it clear. It was after the locker room. Yo. Nothing else, according to this man. Nothing else happened. It was just going to that locker room. Everybody felt the ways. Okay.
In the locker room.
So it wasn't a thought of...
I need to keep saying that. I keep saying it. It was feeling the moment.
Of them crying.
Being there. Being there.
Sorry, Terry. What process did you go through to evaluate whether it was, coaching versus talent on the roster? Over time, how did you evaluate it? What process did you go through?
Well, you see teams in the league. I'm not going to.
Let me speed it up again. So as you can tell, the press is pushing back a lot. They're saying like, no, it's the locker room, which I got to, even though I'm a hater, I'll admit this is a locker. This was a roster issue. I'm a hater, but like, I'm just going to keep it real with y'all. It was a roster issue. Like Josh Allen was basically doing all the offensive plays by himself. He had no one helping him. He had no one to pass to. It was crazy. It was crazy. Like this man was doing everything on that field. So yeah, I talk shit about Josh Allen, but I will give him that. Like he's doing everything on that field and he has no help out there at all. So it makes sense for the head coach to be like, hey, we have a roster issue that we need to fix and we need to invest in fixing our roster issue because we can only get so far with what we have. And for this man to continuously like say it's not really the players, it's and putting it all on Sean is insane. And then in addition to if it is a roster issue, so why is the GM still there and why did he get promoted since he's part of the key components of why we currently have the roster that we have? Like, I would this is a difficult job. Like in this.
I mentioned team names, but they have a great year, a good year, and the next year the success doesn't continue. Like I say, you don't get in the playoffs 7 straight years in this National Football League where there are very few blowouts and dozens and dozens of close games every year. You don't get there without having talent and a great organization. And Brandon and his staff have brought in regularly players that, I mean, look at the injuries we had this year. We're down guys on the practice squad contributing in big games. You don't do that without talent in the front office getting you there.
A big chunk of the fan base very frustrated with you, specifically dating back to that interview that you did on WGR 550. Thought it was very condescending, and I think that a lot of people have come out frustrated with you, particularly that you're still here and Sean isn't. I think a lot of it leads back.
Let me go back to this question. I love the press here. They're like beating their asses.
Back to that interview that you did on WGR 550. Thought it was very condescending, and I think that a lot of people have come out frustrated with you, particularly that you're still here and Sean isn't. I think a lot of it leads back to that. Do you regret that, and do you think in hindsight, maybe not only the host, but the fan base was kind of right about that assumption about the position?
It's a long,
He does not like that question.
probably answer for you, Matt. Listen, I'm a passionate person. I don't think that's new on anybody. And do I regret that? Probably the biggest regret is I probably put pressure on the wide receiver group when I reacted in that way because I felt like they were being picked on unfairly. And if you remember, I'm not trying to rehash what happened, but I was going, man, we had, the number 2 scoring offense, and we were just, we had some tweaks there. It wasn't the exact same group, but it was a similar group that we thought, an addition here or there. Even when I did that interview, I knew we were adding Elijah Moore later that day. And so it was probably more of a reaction to, we just had a draft of defensive guys that we thought could help this team get over the top, and it was more in the defense of that group. Do I regret how it's turned out? Sure. It was not meant to be condescending. It was me having a little bit of too much passion, I guess, if you want to say, hey, I shouldn't have done that. At the end of the day, it wasn't. I had nothing against those hosts. I think I did another interview with
Just let it play.
those guys. I've done them before. I did it at training camp when the next opportunity was. So it wasn't anything personal or anything like that. It was just more coming to the defense of our players because I felt like they were being picked on and they couldn't defend themselves at that point.
And further that, though, the wide receiver position has been an issue with this team, and a lot of people.
They bring it up again. Wide receiving issue, it has been an issue. Bringing it up again.
People out there believe you have failed in the free agent market, and then obviously with the Keon Coleman signing, which hasn't worked out. How do you answer the fact that you have not given Josh a good enough wide receiver room thus far?
Yeah, I mean,
Can I interrupt?
Here we go.
I'll address the Keon situation.
Keon didn't play well. Long story short.
The coaching staff pushed to draft Keon. I'm not saying Brandon wouldn't have drafted him, but he wasn't his next choice. That was Brandon being a team player and taking advice of his coaching staff who felt strongly about the player. And
Keon, we didn't want you, boo. I just want to make that clear. If you felt like you should be comfortable here and you're part of the family, you're not, sir. We didn't want you. And the reason why you're here because Brandon was just being a team player and wanted you here. I just thought you should know that. Me being the owner, we didn't want you. You were the second. You weren't the first. You were the second or the third, probably the fifth. Just thought you should know that. But Brandon here, he knew you were trash. And he just got bad advice. This is so stupid. Why would you say this?
And he's taken, for some reason, heat over it and not saying a word about it. But I'm here to tell you the true story.
That is the tea. Okay, let's speed it up. Because the issue is, it's like I wanted to skip stuff, but like you have to hear the beginning of it to understand the stupidity of it. Okay, so here's my next timestamp.
To this franchise and how seeing him after the game was a factor. What input did he add, if any, on this decision?
Okay, let me go back a little bit more.
You've emphasized how important Josh is to this franchise.
Okay, so this is the whole Josh Allen. They're bringing up Josh Allen. Like, what did Josh Allen think?
And how seeing him after the game was a factor. What input did he add, if any, on this decision to fire Sean, or what conversations have you had with Josh Allen?
He didn't have any input at all. I didn't talk to Josh about this. I talked to him afterwards, and that conversation will stay private, but he had no input in it.
The idea of everybody being in lockstep, which was a big part of bringing in your coach and your general manager at the same time, how did that dissolve? The idea that everybody being on the same page, everybody having the same vision.
I just like how they're like, so what did Josh think about this? What did Josh, like, did you even ask Josh what he felt about the coach? Since Josh is like the main person of the team, and like, maybe we should kind of like put out like some feelers if this is like a good decision or not. Like, instead of having like a simple conversation with the team saying like, hey, what are you thinking? Like, how do you feel the coaching is overall? So putting no fucking, you definitely are not a Bills fan. No, I'm not. I never said I was. Someone in the chat was like wondering if I was a Bills fan. Never said I was. You're right. I wasn't. Anyway. I like how they're like yelling at me. I told you I was going to get someone mad at me. Anyways. So I just like how, like, instead of getting feelers, like, you just like kind of like, so what did Josh think about this? Did you talk to Josh about this before you did this? No. Did you talk to Josh after this? Yes. How did that go? I don't want to talk about it.
I don't think it dissolved, Tim. Like, I'm not, like, when you say it dissolved, what do you, like, are you saying an instance, or like, what do you mean?
Over time, how maybe saw things differently. You know, you say you have different needs or different thoughts on drafting or direction of the team, or why the general manager gets a promotion when the head coach gets fired.
I love this. Why does the manager get the promotion but the head coach gets fired?
Having the same record, there's obviously a disconnect between those two things.
Well, I would say when we acquired players, and this isn't changing going forward, Tim, whether it's a draft or free agency, the personnel department, we're not just saying, hey, we're taking this player, hey, we're signing this player. We share in those conversations. Now, sometimes a decision's got to be made, and sometimes I don't always sign the player that I think is the best, and sometimes I do. And maybe the coach doesn't. You have to make a decision. But the thing I would applaud what Sean and I have had here, this has been 9 seasons, not something like 2 or 3. This has been 9 seasons that we did a lot of good things and brought in a lot of good players and a lot of good coaches and won a ton of football games. I think we've won like, 60-some% of our games, which is...
And that's what's crazy. Like, it's just like, to me, if I was a betting woman, I would absolutely assume that Brandon thinks this is a dumb idea. Because he hasn't really provided any arguments on how this is a good idea and how this benefits the organization. Like, not at all. Like if I was a Bills fan, I would not feel ease. I would not feel ease at all.
Which says there's been success. What Terry, has said was the proverbial playoff wall. So I don't think that's anything dissolved. I think that was the decision he made. We were still communicating through last draft, through last offseason. It was a heavy defensive draft. And Sean was very involved, and his coaches in the selections that we were making and getting the guys on the field and develop them. So I don't think it got to a point where we were signing or drafting players, out of alignment.
If I can clarify,
Tim, you can't.
Here he goes again.
I wouldn't use the word dissolve. We all debate and argue with each other in any organization. We're talking about a football team here. Everybody has their input, and not everyone agrees on everything you do inside that organization. That doesn't mean relationships dissolve. It's just, to me, it's healthy. You foster debate. I disagree with you. Like, this guy's told me to F off a couple times, trust me. And I strongly disagreed with some pretty good players that he's drafted. I'm not mentioning names,
Why is he so shady?
but it doesn't dissolve the relationship. It's just the way we operate.
Skip a little bit more. Like, it's just like, I feel like Brandon does like the best response he could do. And then Terry just comes and just like, no, that's not how it works at all.
With the coaching situation, you said they've hit a wall. But with Sean, you guys have been in that position each year, close. Is it a risk to make a change now? And isn't there going to be high pressure on the next coach coming in because you have been this close to this point?
There is definitely risk. We've got to make the best decision. So that's a fact. And what was the rest?
Pressure on the new coach coming in because you've already established where you have been for 7 straight years.
I can tell you this, there's desire. I don't know about pressure right now, but there's a lot of people that want to look at taking this job. There's a lot of interest.
I'm sorry. Maybe what he's saying is right. Maybe there is a bunch of people that want to take this job and coach this team, right? Maybe that is the case, right? But I feel like it's completely different. And maybe I'm wrong here, but this is just my opinion. It's different when you're getting rid of a head coach because the team is not performing well, right? So it is a great opportunity for a coach who might be like behind the scenes coaching, right? Like offensive, defensive coaching. They're not the head coach, but they're like behind the head coach position, right? So that would be a great opportunity for someone to be like, hey, I think I'm ready to be a head coach. And you go and you interview for a team that's not in the best place. And you could help build it up, cultivate it to make it a better. So you could be that coach to fix the team, right? That'll be you. You'll be that legendary coach that fixed the team, right? That did that wonderful draft and found the new superhero, right? That could be you. Everybody wants that to be them, right? Again, this is just me. Again, y'all can disagree with me because this is like, we're allowed to do that. We can have conversations and we can agree to disagree, right? We could do that. Why in the fuck would I be comfortable in any job in life that you fired someone because people were fucking crying in a locker room? It had nothing to do with my performance in my coaching. It had everything to do with the fact that there was a rumor saying that, hey, I think we need to do a better job with the roster. I think we need to fix it. And for whatever reason, you come in the room, Josh Allen won't look at you, and he's fucking crying like a little baby, and you're saying, we have finally hit the fucking wall. We have finally hit the fucking wall, and you need to go. Why would a coach want to put themselves in that type of situation? Again, this is just my opinion. You could agree to disagree. This is my opinion. But who in their right fucking mind would want to work with someone like that? Who in their right fucking mind would want a boss like that, knowing that I busted my ass and I put out pretty solid fucking record because I said what his record was 98 to 50. 98 to 50. Okay? That's nothing that you sleep on. That is nothing that you sleep on at all. Okay? So that's just my opinion. Just mine. You can disagree with me. That's my opinion. Why the fuck would you want this job? I wouldn't want this job. The fuck? You're going to fire me for doing a good job because people cried in the locker room? What are you? What is this childish bullshit? And then you're going to sit there and say, oh, we drafted this person because Brandon was bullied. Like, you could clearly tell that this owner is not really involved at all. You could kind of tell. That's just my opinion.
Is it Super Bowl or bust? Because in 2026,
No. We can't say that to somebody coming in. We're making a change, and it's do your best job.
Hey, Brandon, how would you categorize your relationships, and specifically throughout the season this year with Sean? And I ask you that because the perception from the fan base out.
Okay, so that was it. So let me jump back. Let me jump some more. I have my notes. That's why I'm jumping around, because we're not going to listen to every fucking thing, because this thing is like an hour.
Tim, Malou,
from the fan
can I
base
help
as
you about the power play part of that? I'm the kind of guy, if I sense you're on a power play, you're out. I don't like power play people. We have an organization we work together, but any sense at all that he was on a power play, he would have been gone.
And
Because that's not my kind of person.
And Joe, like, that's hurtful to even hear that or say that. Like, I worked 19 seasons.
So basically what they were insinuating is that Brandon is taking advantage of the situation, and that's why he's president. Which I can understand why people feel that way. That's perfectly fine. You can feel that way. And so they're just like, the reporters here are just calling them out on this shit. Oh no, if this was a power play, I would be able to detect it. Says the man that fired somebody because their players were crying in a goddamn locker room.
Starting as an intern in Carolina and worked my way up. I came here and I've never tried to do that. I would love for anyone who's making that accusation to walk in these doors and ask any person, player, coach, trainer, anyone. Like, people can disagree with draft picks that I make or people I sign or I screwed up the wide receivers, whatever it is. Like, those are harmful.
I'm glad he admitted it. Like, he admitted it. He admitted it. Like, I'll give him that, because I feel like my issue with the last stream I did, I feel like my issue was like people weren't really admitting to their wrongs. So no, I like that he's kind of owning up to this. He's like, have I fucked up? I have. It's nice to hear people admit.
Harmful things that, you know, I walk in the door and my wife's got tears coming down her face for stuff like that.
What is up with these people and crying? I just want to know. Like, do people not, like, what is up with these people and crying? Like, no shade. Like, this whole fucking thing is about crying. My wife would cry over this. Like, sir, why are you bringing up your wife? Like, sir, why are you bringing up your, like, why, what does your wife got anything to do with this? Fucking weird.
And I'm going to damn try hard to win a Super Bowl here. I am. But for somebody to question my character like that, it is BS. And I've never done that. If you'll remember, in 2023, there was an article written on Sean accusing things. Who stood up in front of every one of you guys and defended him and his family and everything he's done here? And then we went to Kansas City, and we won that game. And I went down to Jeff, Missouri, and said, give me a game ball. I'm going to show.
I just did not. I'm letting this play because I'm just like, what is the purpose of this? Like, what is the purpose of this? Like, one thing that gets on my nerves is, like, to me, something, again, my opinion. Y'all can disagree. We could disagree and just move on. My opinion. I don't understand the whole over-explaining his relationship with Sean. It's very simple. I am the GM. I do not make coaching staff, head coaching decisions. Those decisions are made by the owner. I wish Sean the best. We had a great relationship, and I wish you the best. Like, that's what a normal person would say, right? Like, they would just leave it alone. But, like, he's, like, getting, like, to the nitty-gritty with it. Like, what's next? You babysitted his kids. You fed his fish. Walked his dog. Like, what more? Like, it's just suspicious to me. It's suspicious. But, like, because like I said, I'm just listening to this press conference because I thought they said a lot of stupid, silly shit, and I wanted to laugh at it. That's all I'm doing. I just want to laugh. That is all I want to do. I am here for the ha-has and the hee-hees. I am not emotionally invested with the Bills at all. This is y'all shit.
Show everyone that this team has his back. I've done nothing but have everyone's back. And so for someone to question my character, my integrity, that's where I draw the line.
Terry, why did you find it important to speak out today? You've not been to a lot of press. You've been to a lot of press conferences, but not taking questions.
I love this part. I love this part. The whole "why are you here" part. I love this. Just listen to this. Why are you here, sir? Why the fuck are you here? We don't hear from you at all, sir. Why are you here? Why are you wasting our time with this fucking bullshit?
Why did you feel it important today to answer questions and to show, what behind the scenes, what you felt was an important decision here?
Well, a long duration of why I wasn't in front of the media was Kim.
You shouldn't. I got to be honest with you. Like, this is not a joke. This is all seriousness. You never, ever should do media ever again. Ever again. You have a whole paper of probably what some person that you gave a lot of money to, with the barriers of what you're supposed to say and what you're not supposed to say. Probably gave you a very nice script of how to get through this. And I'm positive you ignored it. So with that being said, you don't ever do this ever again in your life. That's just my friendly advice. By the way, this is not my shit.
Health situation. Very traumatic. But I felt that, this is a big move. Sean McDermott is well respected. He's a great coach. And I just, this is important for people to hear what I have to say. But don't take my lack of appearance. It was all personal.
Brandon, you want to talk about when...
Moving up again. This is a big jump. By the way, this is public, so if you want to watch the whole thing without my commentary, you can, this isn't, exclusive. I forgot to mention that.
Felt that the injuries and how far down the depth chart was an indictment on the roster, getting guys into there, but why wasn't the sustained success also an indictment on Sean's coaching to be able to continue to win football games as they're going farther down the depth chart with players?
That's a good point. You're sitting here saying Sean was such a shitty coach. If he was such a shitty coach, then how was he able to get y'all to the playoffs with all these injuries? Because that is a testament of itself, that he was able to take what he had and get them to where they got to. No shade. And you still fired him. You still fired him because you went to a locker room. Because you went to a locker room and people cried. This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Do you know how bad I would be if I was a Bills fan? I'm so glad this is not my shit.
Can you just repeat the tail end of that again?
You said it was a reflection of the roster that they had to play so many guys deep down the depth chart because of injuries. But they kept winning football games, so why was that also not a positive reflection on Sean McDermott's coaching?
He did not like that question.
Again, I go back to 5-2-3, 2-2-2-6. Great roster, good coaching, no Super Bowl appearance. And I can't emphasize, if I can put you all in that.
Here we go. Here you go. You think you think I'm being petty. You think I'm being petty. Here we go again. I am not being petty. These are the words coming out of his mouth.
Room at that moment after the game, it's like, how do we overcome this? It's been one year after another. And that, it was the sense of, how do we overcome this? And I just couldn't see us doing that with Sean. That's why I relieved him. It's not an easy decision, trust me, with that success. But what is success? Is success being in the playoffs 7 years in a row with no Super Bowl appearance?
Here's the thing. as I stated, he's been a coach since 2014. In 9 of the years, he's been very successful. I don't think this man knows what it looks like to like not be successful, because him complaining about being in the playoffs as many times as he was is kind of crazy to me.
Success and failures both so intertwined and together. How were you able to distill that Brandon deserves this promotion while Sean?
Okay, so this person is calling out the fact that why does Brandon get a promotion but Sean gets fired?
That was my decision. I could be wrong, but it was success with the players. I think we've. I don't know if anybody knows it in this room, but Josh Allen wouldn't be here if it wasn't for this guy pushing and pushing, and pulling a Houdini in that draft to get to the position where we could pick him. So, that was my decision.
Mr. P, how much does the responsibility for coaching versus roster construction, clash when they don't reach that expectation?
Say that again.
I don't know about that's the thing. I don't want to say too much about the Josh Allen comment because, I don't know if that's what really happened, if it was all because of Brandon that they have Josh Allen. If that's what he thinks, okay, but I don't know. I respectfully don't believe it. If it was all him, I don't. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't believe that. I don't believe it was because of one person that they got Josh Allen. I don't believe that. I really don't. I really think it was a team collective effort. Because that's crazy to me. That's crazy. Maybe I'm wrong. To me, that's crazy.
How much responsibility goes into coaching versus roster construction when making that decision? When expectations fall short, how much does it go? How much responsibility goes into coaching versus roster construction when
That's a hard question to answer. I don't know the answer to that. I really.
So you don't know you don't know if it's a roster issue and a coaching issue, how to grade what the issues are, but you made a huge move by getting rid of your head coach. And if it wasn't for your head coach, you would not have the team that you are. And then you're being asked a very fair, straight question saying, hey, how do you determine what are the factors of a team not being successful between a roster issue and a coaching issue? And you're saying, I don't know.
No, go ahead.
You've received $850 million in taxpayer
I love this tea.
money for the new stadium. You have a new stadium that is sold out in PSLs. Going back to John's question earlier, you have not been accessible to the media and by way of that to the fans in several years. Do you plan on being more accessible in that regard for both of your franchises moving forward?
I think that's a possibility in the future. I can't even go watch my daughter play tennis. She's got to number 3 in the world, and I've been to 2 of her matches in the last 4 years. We have issues in the family, but I can see me being more available in the future. Yeah.
Brandon, to clarify,
I got to be honest. I honestly feel like I don't know why. I don't know why he's out here because he's keep on saying, and I have a line. I'm not going to say, not going to talk about his family health issues. I'm not going to go there. I think that's kind of scummy shit. But what I will say is that I'm gonna do my best to take his family out of it because I really don't want to go there. So I'm going to be sure that I'm careful with my words here. If this is truly I had to step back because of personal issues in my life, which I have no reason to not believe that, it's very suspicious to me that now all of a sudden you're fucking available after you do this shit. That's what I will say. That's very, very odd to me. It's either that you really didn't appreciate or like the commentary that was said when you made the decision, or your board members or whoever, the people that with the mullah, really was like, no, motherfucker, you need to go up there and you need to explain this shit. I don't give a fuck what's going on in your personal life, but you need to get up on that stage and you need to explain your shit. So I really think that's what I'm more leaning on number two. I really feel like he was really forced up here. I really, really feel that because he keeps on bringing up things going on in his personal life, which I don't comment on that kind of stuff. If that's what you said, that's what you said. So that's kind of like, sir, how bad of a decision you have to make for you to be basically forced up here to talk when you really want to be home? Rightfully so.
You made this decision based on what happened in Denver and your...
So someone from the chat saying his wife has cancer. Well, yeah. Why are you here? Yeah, I really feel like he was forced up here, to be honest.
Feelings from being in the locker room. Had you won that game, would Sean be the coach in 2026, or would you have made this decision if you lost in the AFC Championship or lost in the Super Bowl?
I don't want to speculate on that.
Listen. He's asking if y'all would have won, which means you didn't go into the locker room of Josh Allen crying. I'm going to keep on bringing that up because that's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard in my life. You go into the locker room and you're being asked flat out, if you guys would have not made it to the Super Bowl, would you still have made the same decision? And you're saying, I can't answer that question. The answer to that question was yes. Because this whole entire time, you're saying that you have an issue for not making a Super Bowl appearance. That was your issue. This whole entire time, you're saying your issue is not making a Super Bowl appearance. So the question was, if you even made a Super Bowl appearance, if you did not make the Super Bowl appearance, but you won this game, would Sean still have a job? And you still can't answer the question. The answer would have been no. The answer should have been no. As I stated throughout this whole conference, my issue is that I feel like we have a great team and I feel like we have all these great things and we're not making it to the Super Bowl. I have a problem with that. So the answer should have been no, sir. But the fact you're saying, I don't want to speculate that. No, it's because you went to that locker room and people were fucking crying. Period.
It is what it is. I don't want to speculate.
I'm sorry, there were a number of players who expressed some displeasure at Sean McDermott being fired. Well, how surprised were you by that reaction?
Everybody has their opinion. We can all speak our mind. I don't look at this stuff, so I don't even know who those players are. Trust me, I don't look at of what everybody's saying out there. I made the decision, and it is my decision.
To clarify that timeline, you said you made the decision after the Denver game. That's very clear. But with the news coming out Monday morning, the 36 hours in between, how much were you going back and forth on this decision, or what was that timeline like for you?
I didn't go back on it.
There are a number of players who
I
expressed
love
some
that
displeasure
ending.
at Sean McDermott being
I don't look at of what everybody's saying out there. I made the decision, and it is my decision.
To clarify that timeline, you said you made the decision after the Denver game. That's very clear. But with the news coming out Monday morning, the 36 hours in between, how much were you going back and forth on this decision, or what was that timeline like for you?
I didn't go back on it.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That was so precious. That was so goddamn precious. Anyways, so that was that's just my little opinion on the whole thing. What is this? Here we go. I knew I had something else, and then I will leave it alone. Let me let this commercial go. These ads are terrible. There's an ad going. I don't want to play the ad. But no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the response of Stephen A. Smith when he heard this, which I thought the response was absolutely amazing. Okay, so I think the commercial's almost over. Because I am not going to play this commercial. Here we go.
Bills owner Terry Pegula just spoke to the...
Okay, here we go. So this is the press's response to it. So if anybody thinks I'm being mean, here's what the professionals said.
The media, and he said this: my decision to move on at the head coach position was based on the results in Denver. He cited the devastation in the locker room and the tears shed by one Josh Allen. So that was the big reason why they decided to make a coaching change.
Exactly.
Josh Allen's crying because he had.
Can you tell that? Hold on, can
y'all
you
back
repeat
that up, too.
No. The audience needs to absorb what we just heard from Shay, because an owner making a decision based on not the 8 or 9 years McDermott has been there, not the 7 consecutive years he's gotten them to the playoffs, not the 73% of his games that he's won over the last 6 years, which is more than anybody in the National Football League. He made this decision, they made this decision rather, based on this past Saturday. And what exactly did they say, Shay? Can you repeat that, please?
This is crazy.
Based on the results in Denver, he cited the devastation in the locker room and the tears shed by their quarterback, Josh Allen. It sounds like very much so based, I don't want to say solely based, very much so based on the results that came Saturday night in Denver. I don't know if that only comes down to quarterback play.
A Buffalo Bills team where your GM, who you promoted to the presidency, by the way, didn't go out and get Jalen Waddle or a wideout, an additional weapon for Josh Allen. You still won 12 games. You went to the postseason. You knocked off the number 3 seed in the AFC in Jacksonville on the road, okay? And then you go to Denver against the number 1 seed, and you've got a 27-23 lead. You put up 30. You lose in overtime. And because of that, you fire the head coach.
Correct.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
that's
Anyways, we'll leave that there. We will leave that there. Well, if you enjoyed the stream, always please hit the like button. Oh, let me do my little thing. Oh, 4 likes? That ain't bad. I want some more, though. So if you haven't hit the like, hit the goddamn like button. Hold on, let me play my song. Here we go. Thank you, everyone, for watching the stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't already, hit the like button. It is free. If you haven't already, hit the subscribing button. I will be back next Saturday. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Let's just see what happens. It might be YouTube drama, it might be celebrity hot topics, it might be reality TV, or it might be an interview where someone says something stupid or funny that I want to talk about. Either way, if it is entertaining and I'm here for it, we'll talk about it here. Anyways, I will see you guys next week. Stay warm.
Smash that like, smash that.